catching.
Are we live?
We are, let me see. I believe we are, but let's see. Hang on.
9 seconds.
Boom. Oh, wait, we're not on. Gotta go to YouTube.
There we go. I just
Let's
left.
see. YouTube. Boom. Yeah, we are live.
Okay.
Hang on. I'm showing the wrong screen here. Let's see here. Let's go back here. Share. We want to share. It's not working right. Okay. We're going to just stop that.
Yeah, that's better.
And stop this. My experience has been anytime there's technical difficulties, it's always a very good show.
That's what I'm saying. And I've been being fought for a long time over this. So let's get on with the commencement of the multiverse crowns because the frequency is so high right now. I mean, just think about it.
Yeah.
I'm literally bumping into my ancestors as I'm driving and walking. It's literally amazing. Seeing numbers everywhere, talking in a different language, and somebody understanding me. That is just the weirdest thing. I'm not understanding, but that is cool. So, yeah.
Well, I just want to say this. Let me intro this. It's an honor and a privilege to produce from Soulogy this creation that is before you. This is not a Soulogy episode in that sense that it's the talk show. This is initiated by someone else, and we've done this over the years and seen a lot of people produce their own podcasts from just stepping out and doing it. So I was asked to come, and see. I was very willing to facilitate this and support this and hold space for this. So I'm going to turn it over to y'all because it's your show.
Okay. Welcome, everybody, to the Harmonic Crowns of the Multiverse. What we do is we bring on guests that have different modalities and they want to express how they use them and how they've helped me down through the years, because most of the people that I know I bring on have known me for a while. Yeah. But we will be having guests that don't know me. And today I thought we would bring on Todd, because Todd is a famous man, even though he tries to be humble. And I got some questions for Todd. I've outlined this thing where people aren't going to hear me like going off and expressing myself, because this is all about Todd. This is all about Todd's moment, and I have some real deep questions to ask him that are going to really bring the energy in tonight. So what we're going to do is, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to introduce my girl, Queen Tiara, Terri Page, and we also have Todd Medina from Soulogy. Woo-hoo! And this energy is already starting to roll. So we're going to have Todd play us a little bit of music. And after that, we're going to have my girl sing a special Diana Ross song. Yay.
Well, let me see if I can get this to work. Hang on a second.
All right.
Okay, I got it. Computer audio. Let me go back. Take this off. Tell me if you can hear. And I can bring something else up later if this doesn't work. But let me just find it. Here we go. Boom. Let's try this. Wait. Can you hear that?
No.
No? Hang on.
No.
Hang on. It's soft. It's coming in though.
No.
No, it's not working.
No.
That's okay.
Had it earlier.
You know what? It's going to be a powerful podcast, regardless of us having our little technical
Well, this is how it works.
difficulties.
Technics.
tick tick tock and block block. Okay, so we dealt with him, and we're canceling the contract. We're annulling it, and we are going to bring back the proceeds, and we're going to have my girl sing her beautiful song, and then we're going to get to the list.
The list.
All right.
It's like walking the plank.
Oh, baby, no. This is some soft places to land right here. All right, here we go. Terri Page.
Good evening, everybody, wherever you happen to be on the planet. I am going to sing one of my favorite songs from Mahogany, and that Diana Ross, Do You Know Where You're Going To? Do you know where you're going to? Do you like the things that life is showing you? Where are you going to? Do you know? Do you get what you're hoping for? When you look behind you, there's no open door. What are you hoping for? Do you know? Once we were standing still in time,
Yes.
chasing the fantasies that filled our minds. You knew I loved you, but my spirit was free. Laughing at the questions that you once asked of me. Do you know where you're
Yes.
going to? Do you
Yes.
like the things that life is showing you? Where are you going to? Do you know? Da 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 da. Now looking back at all we've planned, we
Yes.
let so many dreams just slip through our hands. Why must we wait so long before we see how
Yes.
fair the answers to those questions can be? Do you know where you're going to? Do you like the things that life is showing you? Where are you going to? Do you know? Do you get what you're hoping for? When you look behind you, there's no open doors. What are you hoping for? Do
Do
you
you
know? Da,
know?
da, 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 da,
Yes.
da, 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 da. Oh, do you know?
That was beautiful, my girl. Love you, love
Bravo.
you, love you.
Bravo. Bravo.
So
Bravo.
I sent Terri the list, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to let her start off with the first question. It's under story driven question gold listeners. Okay. Do you have it?
Yes.
The first question starts
Okay.
off with can you?
Can you?
Yeah. Can you tell me?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay. I see. Story driven questions. Okay, Mr. Todd Medina. First question. Can you tell me about a moment when things almost didn't work out, but no one really knows about it?
A moment that things almost didn't work out and nobody really knows the real story, right? Something
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
God, that's a good question.
Yeah, it is. Wait till I.
Geez, I
I
mean,
got you, boo boo. I got you.
uh, I would have to say, God, that's a deep question. And when it came up, I thought of all these different things, like going back to my reawakening, like nobody knew what was going on. It almost didn't work out, I guess, from the outside looking in. To me, as a soul, I somehow knew it would, but then I look at all these other things that's happened over the last 14 years.
Mm.
And I would have to say, uh, I don't know if I can go this deep.
Yes, you
I'm
can.
all about
Please
transfer.
do. I'm a
Well,
trutharian, so please
well, I
do.
would say I would say probably the most recent and probably the most impactful is to have a connection with another person that makes no sense to anyone on the outside looking in. And I guess there was an element, or there's been an element of it almost doesn't work out or whatever, but
Right.
continues to. So somehow or another, I feel like that's actually a template that's not just applied to me in that situation, but that we're actually stepping into now because it's working out, and we know as a soul, it's all good, and we're
Yeah.
just kind of like, what did I get today? I was thinking about, I love this song by Tupac, Staring Through My Rear View, right?
Right.
And I was walking on the beach tonight. The sun was going down, and I was thinking about that song, and I was thinking about part of what's happened. And I think this pertains to the question. Uh, is we can look in our rear view now and see that we had it all along,
Absolutely.
you know? So, yeah,
Absolutely.
great question. I didn't have a conventional answer, but I'd say it applies many, many
Nothing is
times.
conventional when you're on the multiverse. It's not conventional. That is not conventional. Uh, all right. So I'm going to ask you a question. What was the most uncomfortable decision you made that ended up paying off?
Man, you're going for the meat and the bones here. The most uncomfortable decision
That you
that,
had to make that ended up paying off in the end.
well, okay. So I would have to go back to, I guess, my present life, right?
Right.
And there's several aspects in our lives at the core. It might be a connection with someone else, it might be your passion, like mine, Soulogy, and a few other things. I would say let me speak in generality, but not to be avoiding anything because I'm not. That is that love is free. Love is free. And I think the toughest decisions I have made have been to allow that to happen and really walk the talk. And so whether it's on the other side, it's worked out, I think there's an ing on everything. I don't think there's an
Right.
ed. So in other words, it's working out, it's happening, or it's whatever. But I would say that, to actually honor love, be love, respect love, and allow it to be free. Because if that mirror of you, whatever that form may be,
Mhm.
needs separation or needs to go whatever direction it goes, we're, once connected, always connected. And I think I would have to say yeah, that would apply. And again, many times.
Many times.
Mm.
All right. Next question.
Okay. What's a failure that still influences how you operate today?
Uh, there's my second favorite saying is a saying that goes, I am not judged by the number of times I fail, but by the number of times I succeed, which is in direct proportion to the number of times I try.
Yeah.
The towel.
So
Mhm.
I have this thing, and I think people may not be able to relate to it, but I have no regrets. I have no regrets. I've obviously, lived a very extreme existence in this incarnation. I'm sure the previous ones. So
Yes.
I've wilded out with the best of them, but I don't have any regrets. I don't feel like the failures apply because they were just ways for me to gain an experience and in some cases learn what wouldn't work, you know. So I would
Yeah.
say that, yeah.
Yeah. I get that. Okay. So you've been saying a lot of deep stuff. And my next question is, what's something you do now that would have scared the younger version of yourself? Something you do now that would have scared the younger version of Todd Medina.
um okay. Yeah. from the lenses and the perspective of a younger Todd, 20, 30, teens, whatever, 40s. I turned 64 last month.
Oh,
If I would
okay.
have,
Congratulations.
yeah, if I would have, if my younger self, 20, 30, whatever, would have been told, you're going to be living alone in a little flat on the second floor, a block from the beach, in a little beautiful town in Mexico, on a very limited income, in a very in an economic environment that works. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Uh,
I'll take it.
I I would, well, no, I would have thought that was crazy. I would have
That's what
thought
I would.
that I would have
Yeah.
thought it was crazy. I would have
With
thought,
my upbringing, I would have took it. I would have said,
yeah,
yeah,
I
with
would have
my
just
upbringing,
thought,
but yeah.
you're going to be, you have a house, and I've had plenty.
Hmm.
You're going to have, this. You're going to have some
Right.
security. That whole conveyor belt thing, just because that's where my mindset was and the level of conditioning I had at the time. But it's
Hmm.
the most beautiful thing that's ever occurred. I mean, this is the most beautiful place, and incredible place, and best
I
place I've ever.
bet.
It is. It's
Yeah, I
and
bet.
it
And you
may not.
and you manifested that. But you manifested that. You spoke that into existence through your wounds and pains. You spoke that into existence through whatever it is that you went through that you did not enjoy. And as you enjoyed healing, you spoke that into existence. And even though at this moment you might not feel that it is like this grand tiara, it really freaking is. People will die to be in your seat where you're at right now. Away from the drama, away from the 9 to 5, away from the critics, away from everybody. You can go free and just be yourself without any restrictions. That is the life. That is it. That's what we were put here to do. But for some apparent reason, we feel like we just can't get back to remembering. Now, Terry has another question for you.
We are getting back to remembering. We're
Oh,
remembering.
yes, yes, remembering.
Okay, so next question. What do people admire about your success that's actually the hardest part?
Well, I mean, that question is a tough question, but I understand the intent of your question. And I would say, I would only speak to what that might, how that might come up with a person or whatever. All right. I'm not going to get into my own personal perspective of what success is or whether I think I'm successful. Right.
Right, right, right,
But
right.
I get the question. I would say it like this. Um, I go to work every day,
Mm,
every single day.
mm,
And I kind of cooled the heels for a couple of years through May of last year, but I was still there, 10 shows a month and still doing some posting and blogging. But prior to that, it was every day, all day long,
mm,
in
Well,
between. And then it's been that way since May, I think in a more comfortable, relaxed atmosphere that we're all kind of stepping into. And I feel like that's probably the thing I would say, because in a potentially viral atmosphere that the internet has created, it's kind of like the lottery.
mm.
And you can do something and get 1 million views overnight, but it's not about the views. It's not
right.
about the likes. It's about putting something out there and sticking with it and having faith in it, regardless of what the matrix or the ratings of the matrix say is successful or not successful. uh but so that's kind of my second, or the second part of the answer. The first part would be that in order to, I don't see this changing, uh to be consistent and to show up every day and do the best you can. Many times over the years, back in the day, we'd have 3 4 shows a day, and I would feel like shit, but I would show up. And then eventually I would get on and I'd say, I feel like shit, but we're going to do the show. So, but I think, for me anyway, I can only speak for myself, is that showing up and doing your best and letting it, I never watch a show again. I never go back and watch replays. I just keep going, just keep going, because whatever's done is done.
See, that's how I feel. I feel that. Come on, Todd. I like that because I feel that too. Some people say, "Did you watch your podcast?" I'm like, "No, I don't watch it." There are sometimes I'll go back and I'll watch the beginning or something, but usually I don't watch my podcast because I'm in the moment right there. That's where we're supposed to be. That's the best point. That's the best time of life is being right there in the moment. Right there in the moment. That's what God wants us to be. We're living the human experience, right? And that's where we're supposed to be in that moment, not in the past or the future or anything. Just enjoying that time with each other is just if that undiluted love without regret, without jealousy, without envy, without strife, without any of that stuff. You understand? That's where my heart is at. But I can't say what other people's hearts are at, where they're assuming and judging and making their own assumptions. That's their junk. That's not my junk. I'm not holding on to that. But I can be optimistic and be free because it is all about freaking infinite freaking abilities. Because that's what it's about. I didn't feel like coming and doing this show after working 5 days this week and going through all the things I go through at my job. But I've been, I'm just like this. I've been coming through for myself because it's something I've been wanting to do for a long time. And if you look at one of my posts, like 4 years ago, I said, Pam's place is coming. But that's what I had named it then. But since that, I have changed tremendously. And I mean, like, whoa, like a whirlwind, like that. Ah, and with that being said, there's been a lot of events, a lot of lessons, and a lot of lessons, and a lot of events, and I'm just like waiting and looking and enjoying the repercussions of all these things that I have encountered that have done nothing but bring me higher in consciousness to knowing that, hey, I am just here enjoying this game, having fun, but I don't have to be uh, um judgmental. I don't have to be greedy. I I don't have to be selfish. There's no key that unlocks a door that I need that key to, because if it's already mine, the door will just open as soon as I go near it. I don't need the key. Even though there are times I've dreamed about keys, I dreamed about 3 barrels of gold labooms. I told Terry about it, but I don't need anything. I just need me. That's why a lot of people say in Jesus' name, but they don't realize the only reason they're saying it because they don't believe in themselves. They don't believe in their name through the Christ consciousness that they could do the same thing Jesus did and Moses did. He said, greater work shall we do. So how in the world can I just say or ask for, knock and I shall receive, seek and I shall find, and the doors will be open without having to have the key? There we go.
You are the key. You
Oh.
are the key.
The birds, and they always talk to me. I can hear them. And it's just a wonderful paradise that I live in all by myself until I enter a realm where I can talk to brothers and sisters that's on the same traveling path, that I can just be free and not have to apologize to anybody because they don't know what I'm experiencing. I'm walking, I'm seeing um giants and and all kinds of beautiful oh, it's so beautiful. And sure, to be insane is to be perfect. So hello, well, how you think they made cartoons? How you think they made these televisions? Yeah. So we really in these moments, these quantum moments, these multiverse moments, I think the biggest test, Todd, is being able to come together without thinking somebody's trying to get you. Like, are they trying to get me? Are they trying to hurt me? Are they trying to have sex with me? Are they trying to derail me? Are they jealous of me? That is one of the biggest freaking community stab wounds. That is a sabotage freaking frequency. It doesn't exist. You only let it in. Here's something I'm going to show you. I take this to work with me every day. It's a light ball. It changes. This is rainbow color. So this is me. This is my body. This is my heaven. Here I am on my own dome. Nobody can get in that dome unless I let them in that dome. But if they get in that dome, I could go to that color. I could put up my sword. Or I could go to that color. Oh, I don't know if I'm real or not. I don't know if I'm real or not. I can go to that one. I can go to this one. I can go to this one. Oh, I'm angry now. I'm angry now. And watch. I'm fluttering. I'm fluttering. But if I stay on the rainbow and stay in the knowing of myself, nothing can come under there and change my frequency. Nothing can get in there and change my frequency. It'll just be perfect. When you get hijacked, you learn a new lesson. Duck. Just duck. Let it roll off your damn back and keep on going.
Yeah,
Don't take nothing damn personal.
absolutely.
The Four Agreements was one of the best books I read when I wasn't awake all the way fully. I stayed in that book like it was the Bible. And I constantly stayed.
Is anyone awake fully?
No, because
And
that would close
actually,
out the game. The game would be closed out and
well, I mean, I would actually go back to what you were saying and being present. I think as just as I was listening to you, and I totally get what you're saying, but I think that there's something about humility and humiliation that go hand in hand. And
yes.
I've always said, one way to say I am a soul is I'm not afraid to show my ass, or I'm going to show my ass, or I might show my ass. You know what I mean? So I think part of being present is not discounting that you're not envious, that you're not jealous, that you're not angry,
Right.
and actually keeping tabs on each one of those gauges in the
Right.
interior of your
That's what I
vehicle.
was trying to say when I showed you that. And I also carry a lapis lazuli with me when I have that brightly shining as a rainbow color. Because even though, and I work on myself constantly, none of us can stay 100% present. We always have to go back to grounding. We always have to take a deep breath. We're always remembering. We're always in frequency. And hey, I can tell when they're trying to bring a new guide in because a part of my body will just hurt and it'll just, why? And these are things that you go through, and people think you're crazy. They literally think you're crazy. And doctors don't know what the crap is happening when you go in there and you're talking about the Kundalini chakra, blah, blah, blah. And I go to therapy, and I'm telling you, every doctor that I have has been sent by spirit. Every doctor, even that one that told me that crazy doctor, Terri. Because I tell them when I first go in there, I let them know I'm holistic and I don't believe in any of this. Now, I know that I have to work with the doctor and I ask for you to come into my frequency. So I'm going to tell you front up that I don't believe in this and that and the other, but we can work together to try to solve some of these problems. That's what I tell them, or whatever words that I use when I'm talking to them, because I'm probably not in that moment when I'm in that, but probably a better moment, but whatever, who knows? But that's what I'm saying is that I'm always honest, straight up forward, because, like I said, the events and lessons have taught me how to be vocal at the right time and not vocal at the wrong time with certain events in my life. So we're gonna go back to the questions. Go ahead, Terri. The next one after what's a skill you think? What's a skill?
Yeah, I just did the one above that. You're next.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. What's a skill you think is underrated but has been critical for you, Todd Medina?
What's a skill that is seen as
Underrated,
what's a skill that conventionally is underrated that has been what?
critical for you.
Um, hmm.
A skill you
I
think that has been underrated,
I
that has been critical for you
yeah,
to thrive.
yeah. I think it's, I believe in the saying, as the individual goes, so goes the collective. I mean, if I answer that question for myself, I also think it's for all of us.
Right, it
And
is.
and that is we have underestimated and therefore underrated our faith,
Hmm.
our ability to stand alone and keep moving forward no matter who's standing next to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that code or intelligence and recognition and acknowledgement from the human to the soul is happening. So I feel like that's the most critical thing that we've all done, because the people that I've engaged in the work that I do, they all listened to a voice. They all did crazy things. Their family disowned them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And
Hmm.
they're still arriving to the same place. And there's a bunch of us there now. Right. So
Yes.
I feel like that the most underrated thing is our faith in ourselves. We've not understood, even though we've doubted ourselves, we've not understood the magnitude of our faith. And it's becoming more and more into our awareness every day. Yeah.
I would say we don't value our worth at all. We continually think that we need something more to be ourselves. We what are we missing? We need more. We need more. I don't think that the creator made you without whatever you needed with the free will that you've got, and somebody else is trying to take your free will by giving you their assumption or their idea of how you should live your life or how you should think or how you should act or how you should breathe or how you should dress or what job you should take or what you shouldn't do. Those are the things I think are underrated in our community right now, and that to believe that someone could literally be that powerful, literally, just like Jesus, just like Krishna, just like Moses, just like, because the spark, if you ask, you shall be given. If you ask, you shall be given. Terri?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what do you have to say about that, Terri?
What's underrated? A lot of times, I know I agree with all of that, but many times there is a skill that we kind of like, it's one of our best attributes, but we can sometimes belittle it or shrink it because we have this belief that it is not acceptable or underrated. And for me, sometimes it's my music. It's yeah. I used to sing in the closet. I found out later it was Arabic. I didn't know. And when I did it during a band rehearsal, and they're like, Terri, that right there. I'm like, what are you talking about? That thing right there that you've been hiding. We want you to do that in the next, our next performance on this part of the music. I'm like, what? Yeah, that right there. And when I did, I'm like, whoa, I felt so free to let that out, to express it. I was hiding it, thinking it wasn't acceptable down here somewhere, but it turned out to be something so magical. That an audience member came up to me after the performance and said, "Oh my God, you remind me of home. That beautiful." I said, "Home? Well, where's your home?" She said, "Israel." I said, "What?" And I asked my band leader. I said, "That lady said that." He said, "Yeah, you were singing in Arabic." I said, "Had no idea." So, it's that kind of stuff, as well as other gifts and talents that many of us do have that but told by society that's, you ain't gonna make any money doing that. Or you need to get a better job. You need to get and we like, no, that is the ticket. That's the key. And by the way, we are the key. We are the
Exactly.
key.
So we don't need a key.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely. We are the
That's what I
human.
said earlier.
Yeah.
Mhm. Exactly. Exactly. So go ahead, Terry. You ask the next question, darling.
Next question. Here we go. What's popular? What is popular advice in your industry that you strongly disagree with?
I don't know. I can't really think of anything. I'm still kind of like segueing into this question from the last question after listening to everything and thinking
Well,
about things.
we can
So
back up. We can back
no,
up.
I don't want to back up. I don't really have an answer to what's good advice. I mean, I think there's some conventional stuff. What's good advice? You need to do this. You need to do that in order for these things to happen, which equates to more views and more likes. And I don't agree with that. But going
Yeah.
back to more of a metaphysical slant, combining the two questions, what is underrated, both in, let's just say, quote unquote, the industry that you're referring to and to life, that is critical that we've underrated within ourselves? Because you're right,
Right.
it's about self-worth, it's about self-love. And
Exactly.
I would actually say this, uh, listening, listening. And I don't just mean when you're with people. I mean, think about it. If you go out of town, outside of the city limits, and you go into the forest next to a stream, and you're by yourself, me, you, whoever, the the highest potential of the experience, which is presence, is obtained how? It's by listening. We don't walk into the forest. Now, we might if we've got something on our mind, but we don't start talking and telling the universe this and that and the other thing. We actually walk through the experience to receive what we're reflecting, as opposed to directing what we believe we're reflecting. So I feel like that, if you look at podcasting, because I think that's what you're referring to, I feel like, in my own evolution, 4,500 shows, I'm not a perfect listener, but I'm a much better listener now, thousands of shows later, than I used to be. I think, that's something that, again, it kind of has a mutual significance, because the individual that's doing it, that's taking the initiative, that's going to be out there and be on camera, let's just say, on the screen, has their own evolution, their own internal thoughts, and they also have the perception that they have of whatever they think people are looking at. So it's a that's a deep dive too, and I think those are the kind of rabbit holes that we're actually immersing ourselves in as we let go of the prejudices and the biases and the judgments, and actually enter that space or re-emerge in the natural, in our natural way, nature, universe. And I would just metaphorically describe it as you're walking through the forest, you're walking next to a stream, you're walking on the beach next to the ocean. We don't talk when we do that. The information is being given to us through our reflection, and that reflection is us. Like you were saying earlier, you created this space in this town. Well, that's true. We know that we create it, whether we're conscious or unconscious of it. I didn't know it. I still have the same things going on, and with the environment, it doesn't mean that everything is, uh, you know, uh, peachy cream, fluffy love and light all day long, every day.
Right.
I think that's the other factor, is that regardless of what we're looking at, is to understand that individual, that mirror, that reflection is going through the same damn thing we're all going through doubts, going through past life memories, going through judgments, going through self-analysis, introspection, finding out. As we elevate and have a higher vantage point, we can see shadows that we couldn't see at the level we just came from. And so, there's a lot of humble pie there. And again, where's this all coming from? It's coming from what the universe is showing us. right? It's coming from what is being presented to us. And as we all know, over the last year or two, the messages that we haven't been conscious of or that we want to avoid are getting louder and louder and louder until we have to make this new choice, which is a greater degree of surrender. And from that comes a higher degree of respect and self-responsibility, self-respect, self-responsibility, self-love. And so I find that, you know, not just Todd, but the world is becoming quieter. The wisdom is becoming quieter. Um, it's not words, although words are part of the transition. It's the energy that we each carry, and you don't have to say a damn thing about it because it speaks for itself. You know, it does, and it's. I think it's part of what's happened is the truth frequency is actually being seen by everybody. I've said for a long time, and I don't know that I'm right, but you know, the gig could be. The trick could be the fly in the ointment, whatever, could be that we're all beating at the same exact vibration. It just doesn't look that way with the lenses that we've had on,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can
Mm-hmm.
have a Muslim and a Christian and a Judaism and this and that and the other thing and all these other different differentiations that we have within the human experience. But the reality is there's one common thread. And to me, it's two things that are merging. One, I am soul, the understanding and awareness that I am a soul. This
Mm-hmm.
world can't hurt me. This is part of me. This is the finite part of me. And the
Mm-hmm.
other part is this is a finite part of me, and so is everybody else. And we're all subjected to the human condition, and we all put our shoes on the same way and wipe our butt the same way.
Mm-hmm. We wish that part didn't have to happen, but anyway.
All galactics do. They don't want to shower. They don't want to eat. They don't want to have to urinate or anything.
Yeah, that resistance right there is something I've been working on a lot because I set these alarms every day. For my whole day, I'm on alarms. And majority of the time after I wake up, all those alarms are met. But the ones that I set that are before the time that I wake up, those are the hard ones to honor. And I'm working on that, Todd. I'm working on that because Pamela 5 years ago was in the gym 3 or 4 times a week, no matter if I was working 2 or 3 jobs. And that's exactly what I was doing, working 2 or 3 jobs. I had my own business, my own house cleaning business for 30 years. I would go to work and I would come home. I'd go probably clean somebody's house for 4 to 6 hours. And I was working either chef or a law enforcement. You know, it's been that way for a while. And right now, I've talked to spirit. You know, I'm carrying a big giant mantle and it's like really heavy. And it's hard to even talk to anybody about it because either, and this is only my own perception, because where my eyesight is at right now, if I could share it with like 10 people so we could be on the same page and sit and laugh at the things and see that, do you look at what and have fun with it? It would be great. But there are very few people and on a daily basis that I'm around that can see or experience the things that I experience on a daily basis. And it can be quite lonely in that perspective, but lonely is not a real feeling because that's the peace that surpasses all understanding. That means there's no drama, there's no craziness, there's no alarms going off, people stealing and robbing and cheating and all that around you. But when you have that peace, sometimes you don't identify it as peace, you identify it as loneliness. So I think a lot of us spiritual beings are lonely in ways we don't speak about because we're still dealing with the mundane world. And we don't see our worth as creator would see our worth. Because if we did, we'd magnificently come together and change it right now instead of playing the waiting game. So Yeah. It's not simple when it comes to working on your perception so that you can feel less caged or less.
Feel more free.
Yeah, I mean, you're free, but there's still a part of bondage there.
More liberated. Yeah.
Yeah, liberated would
Oh,
be the
more liberated.
word.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Positive. Yeah.
because, you know, think on these things. God made Hitler just like he made us.
Absolutely.
And do you know, even in the book I'm reading right now, Conversations with God, God says Hitler's in heaven because there is no hell. Do you think God would make a creature that would do something bad that I would punish when I gave them free will to do it?
Yeah.
That's a lot to swallow.
Yeah.
But as he continues, he continues to explain why all these things were in rhythm with what was happening in that timeline.
Mhm.
It's all for us to see, or not, or hear, or not, or feel, or not. And I really believe a lot of people are restricted in the feeling area. It's a
Uh,
gray cloud, like
yeah,
a gray cloud, but there's soft light in that gray cloud.
but if we're perceiving a soft gray cloud, if we're perceiving anything about other people, are we not perceiving that
Where
in
we're
our?
all one. We're
Well,
all one.
what I'm saying is because you went from the individual to the collective perspective, or the perspective of the collective from the individual. All I'm trying to say is if we're seeing dysfunction, imbalance, prejudice, bias, egotism, whatever the case is, in those around us, that's a reflection.
I wasn't
That's
saying that
that.
I saw that. I'm saying that God does not see that.
Yeah, but I am God.
Exactly. But
That's the whole point. The whole point is I am God. You are God. And the whole point is if we have
yeah,
these appendages or these handicaps or these bondages, then get fucking jiggy with it. It doesn't
right.
involve anybody else. If I'm in a situation, you're in a situation, anyone's in a situation that's holding them down, the time has come that the bullshit's not going to stick to the fucking wall. It's got nothing to do with anything or anyone outside of us. It's our choice to remain in that space. So the days of making excuses and blowing smoke up the universe's ass are over. This is the reality that we've entered, a reality where we are walking through the forest next to the stream. Our
Yeah.
ears are turned on and our mouth is closed because what we're experiencing is exactly a mirror image of ourselves. And it's only through the conditioning and the programming and the behavioral patterns that stand in between that now, because a lot of the programs have been neutralized on an individual and a collective basis. And we're in the real game now. And everybody's rowing their own boat. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream, merrily, merrily, merrily. Life is a dream.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I don't know exactly what you thought what I was saying when I was talking about the book that I'm
It's not.
reading
It's not. It's
called.
not. It's not
Yeah.
about you. I'm just making a. I'm making a. Like my own. You know, like this is what I received. What I received is something that is my reflection, and
Mhm.
and then through that, through that symbiosis, you have a higher inspiration. You have expansion and awareness, and this is why I'm saying, going back to that great one of those great questions, is the underrating uh, the lack of recognition for the things that we've done through the grit and the turmoil and the grief and the suffering and the pain and the successes and the joy and the bliss. We all of it is us. We claim it all, and that is to reach a point. Now, how do you think telepathy, or what is above telepathy, is going to take place? We've all had dimensional experiences. Some of us have had visitations. Nobody's mouth is moving. You know, in my recollections of a couple of lifetimes in around Atlantis, that was one of the things I noticed right away because it came early. Nobody's mouth was moving. Well, how can you have telepathy if the mouth is moving? So
Well, let me answer that.
But
Let me
just say this: it would only make sense that through the evolution of the transition we call ascension, as we go from the carbon-based body to the light body or the crystalline body, as we go from verbalization, Tower of Babel, okay, into
that's all old stuff.
Into one voice, one language, that we have, many of us have had experiences in dimension, meditation, visitation, whatever, where nobody's mouths are moving. Anybody ever have an experience with an angel and their mouth was moving, but did you not hear every word that they said? So this is the kind of the merging of the physical and the non-physical, birthing a new language, a new geometry, a new set of color spectrum, and the whole 9 yards. That's the way I see it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. You're welcome. I feel like we are all creating new. This is not something that we already know, something that is already in our mind. We can't live by our thoughts. We have to live by our soul. And to your perspective, you might feel like it might be silence. Some people live in silence all day, and then they have maybe an hour or half an hour to speak. I feel like each journey is different, even though we're connected in one beautiful white rainbow energy that is constantly, like I was explaining before on the other podcast, I see myself moving around to myself and little, like it's so tiny, the electricity is moving. But like I'm saying is everybody's going to experience things differently. You say, do you see an angel and then you're not quiet? I sit in the car and have conversations with angels all the time.
I said, do you ever see an angel or a galactic or an elemental and when there's, or an animal when they're speaking to you and their lips are moving?
No, they're not. But I talk to them while they're there.
But that's not what I was saying.
Okay.
What I was saying is going back to that very pertinent question about what we underestimate about ourselves, because we're all on the same trip. We all bought the ticket. We're taking the same ride. And that is to be served that humble pie, to earn humility through humiliation. And that is embarrassment. And that's so many different things where we admit to ourselves that, hey, it doesn't work this way anymore. And I'm going to lose a part of my identity that attached to that. And the bottom line is when there's nothing being said, as time has gone on, and I will stand by this on my children, right? I know there's more being said. There's more being said in the silence, because the silence is not what it was made up to be, just like our imaginations were suppressed. Okay? It's the same environment. It's this infinite field of emerging of physical and non-physical and so many different things on the face of the earth. So many different seeds, more universal seeds than any other place that's ever existed in this moment. And this is what we're coming out of. And there's so much to be learned by observing and seeing from the higher sensitivities. And this is the kind of technology and intelligence I think that we've stepped into really last year, and now it's going to expand and become more obvious and visible to us this year.
Okay. Terri?
Oh, to speak on that one. There is a time to observe and be in silence, in my opinion, and there is a time to actually speak and use words. But I do believe that we're in a time and space where our telepathic abilities
Yeah, they're
are becoming
amplifying.
more online to where, I mean, I'm with that. My son, we do this all the time. And and I know exactly what he's saying without saying any word. Without him saying any words. We do this back and forth.
Mhm.
This is the time where all those abilities are coming back online for us to utilize for the highest and best good of ourselves and everything and everyone, even the galactics, man, that be showing up outside the window and then them ships and shit, you know? I'm like, oh, sorry. You know, so it's like,
Say what you
okay.
need to say.
It's like,
Yeah.
come on, woo, I'm ready. Let's play, you know?
Yeah,
So,
me too. That's how it happens for me.
and it's a lot of
Exactly how
fun.
it happens for
It's a
me
lot
every
of
day.
fun. I've
Every
had
day.
visitations where they don't say any words. It's just telepathic. And then
Yeah,
I've had
me too.
visitations where they be like,
Mhm.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, yeah.
Say that again, you know? So I don't know. I think it all depends on
Your
where
journey.
the journey.
Your journey.
There
And
was a time there was a time when there were people from the other side or entities that would just stand there and look at me, not saying anything.
And I sit there and talk to
And I
a tree,
can see their
my
faces. I'm like,
great grandfather in a tree.
or they're conveying to me, and then that was in the past, and now there's more of the actual showing up and saying something, and I'd be like, really? And I'll wake up saying what they were saying to me, and my son will hear me. Who you talking to? You know, or I'll wake up singing a song like my grandmother. She used to sing this song. What was it? Some James Taylor song she used to sing all the time. She never knew all the words to it, you know. And I was in our old house, and my grandfather was over there, my mother was over, and I heard the song. How sweet it is to be loved by you. That was it. She loved that. And I'm like, oh yeah, oh yeah. And I'm in that dimension singing it. And I woke my own self up singing and still singing. And my son's like, oh, what's that song? I said, how sweet it is to be loved by you, James Taylor. He goes to the computer and he pulls it out and he starts playing it around the house. You know, so so we're liable to hear and witness and feel and
whatever we want.
Anything, because there's
Sky's the limit. It is
there's no surprises
infinite
anymore.
possibilities. Infinite possibilities.
Yeah,
Infinite possibilities.
you have entities, your family members on the other side come up
Infinite
in the room
possibilities.
talking about they just sitting there in the corner looking at me. Every last one of them. And I'm like, okay, what? Am I gonna die? Oh my God, I'm gonna die. Something's wrong. I'm gonna fucking die. It was like that, right?
Yeah,
like, okay. Yeah. Okay, so what is that? And next thing I know, I turn my computer on, and all the questions that I had been asking, this teacher showed up right on my screen.
That's how it happens for me.
She said to me, I contacted her. I said, okay, look, you know, like I need some help and stuff. And she's like, okay. And I said, what's that thing you got? You know, the $200 for this step. And she said, well, Teddy, you asked for help 3 times. I'm like, how does she know how many times I asked for help? I thought, okay, look, where do I sign? Just get me in, right? And ever since then, my whole life has been like everything opening up and with the rewriting the story, you know, healings in my family, you know, because I'm doing the work, you know. I'm like, whoa. And that's what I was ready for at that point. Before that, I was not ready for that. I was not ready for that, you know. And then incidentally, after I said yes to getting the assistance that I required that showed up on my screen, I didn't see my ancestors and my shamans that's on the other side show up in my bedroom no more. It's like they're saying, go that way. Right? They were looking at me. They wasn't saying, they just look at me. You know, so I'm like, whoa. And that didn't show up again. It's like, that's the way you were supposed to go. It's like, you know, in the movies, they say, whoa, that way, you know.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they did.
I sent Terri pictures yesterday of a bird. These are the weirdest, these are the things that happen to me. You know, the elements of earth talk to me. I can hear when the wind talks to me. I can hear these things. So I may not believe like other people. I may have a more open capacity. And then there are a lot of my friends that know through sacred geometry that, yeah, I mean, they can show up in the bathroom floor. they can show up and I go and I walk through and they're in the trees, they're in the rocks. Uh, one was even in my bed. One drives with me every day. His name is Alex. Terrell's here. So, I mean, I don't know what other people might have to experience, but I'm going to tell you, before I even start waking up, I was already healing people. In my Christianity days, I prayed demons out of people. I've done a lot of spiritual work all my life. So this is a whole nother journey into deeper healing. And I've humbled myself like so much people have no idea, you know. And I feel like, in a way, there's a lot of criticism coming from other people towards who I am. And to me, I don't give a fuck.
Well,
Seriously.
then why even mention it?
But I'm mentioning it because
Then
I
why
have
even
the
mention
right,
it? I mean,
because I have the right to do
thi-
that. But I have the right to
whoa,
do
whoa,
that
whoa,
with
whoa. What,
unapologetically.
if you want to get down and dirty with
No, it's
these
not down and
no, no,
dirty.
no, no. I'm talking about this with these deep questions.
Yeah.
Look, everybody's pain is the same, proportionate to their life experience. Period.
I don't know about
Everybody's
that.
well,
Because I think everybody has different wounds.
no, 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 no. Hear me out. We either are in unity consciousness and oneness, or we're not.
Okay, we are.
So like it or not, we're all under the same circus tent. And the only time that we're not in the circus tent is when we don't visualize someone else being in that circus tent or us ourselves. I mean, we've come past the rhetoric. We've come to a point where it's time to walk the talk, and walking goes a lot further than talking. We've all been through a lot, every single one of us. And that's why I go back to that other great question that you asked, which is, what is it that has worked? In other words, you said something like, what has worked to make things successful or whatever that you would never thought of, basically. And that to me is being conscious of your envy, of your jealousy, of your anger, of all of these streams that have come out from the experience of the human condition, and keeping tabs on them rather than thinking we've cleared these hurdles.
Right.
Because the truth is, the sun shines on everybody, okay? And so does the shit. It all shines on everybody. And this is what's been perpetuating this old paradigm, is the differentiations that we make. We're all the same color. We're all the same creed. We're all the same soul. We've all had the same pain. We've all been subjected to the same damn thing. And that's just the way it is. And anything inside of us, in my opinion, that thinks that that's different and that we're an exception. Well, I don't know about you, but I learned a long time ago when I was on the streets, don't ever throw an absolute down on the universe. Don't ever tell the universe that, yes, I get it, I'm aligned, I'm in oneness, except for this exception and that exception, and we'll just leave that out of the equation. Well, that's not how it works.
No, it doesn't.
So we're moving into a space where it's all or nothing. And
exactly.
And I go back to,
but do you think that's so simple for a lot of people that have come up in different ways?
I'm not saying it's simple. I'm not saying it's simple. What I'm saying
is, that's where my heart is about being
what I'm
empathetic.
saying.
I'm very empathetic to.
Well, the empathy should be for yourself.
Oh, it is.
Okay. So because anything that happens within ourselves automatically translate to what we're seeing outside of ourselves. So I'm not saying that it's easy. What I'm saying is we're moving into a space that all the things that we think we fucking know right up to yesterday are gone.
Exactly.
Because it's a whole new geometry and language and way of life and band of frequencies. We were moving against the stream. Now we're moving with the current.
With the flow.
And so the point is, you can describe this in a lot of different ways, but it's self-sourcing, period. It's self-sourcing. Everything, healing, alignment, understanding, compassion, empathy, less judgment, no prejudice, no bias, nothing but pure effing love for yourself and for the thoughts, because you said earlier, it's not the thoughts, it's the soul, but you're right, it is the soul. But we're in a vehicle where the thoughts are what originates everything. See, so our words and our actions are just ripples and echoes and repercussions of the thoughts that we're having. And because the truth frequency is moved to such a high level and it's not stopping, it doesn't matter if it's your grandmother or your grandchild. It doesn't matter who it is. Everyone is seeing the truth frequency because they're feeling it in their body.
Exactly.
So all this other stuff, it's like someone got a big eraser and just wiped it off the board, like an etch-a-sketch, and just ripped it off. And we
Not
start
an
the day.
etch a sketch.
We start the day fresh again because when did you wake up this morning, right?
Right.
Because today you're gonna hit I'm gonna hit, you're gonna hit, y'all are gonna hit, we're all gonna hit a higher level of truth. But tomorrow the bar of truth will be higher because we have reached a higher vantage point, so we can see the horizon that's further out there than we could see yesterday, but we can also see those things in retrospect behind us that we didn't have right. Right? It's humility and humiliation. I am soul. I'm not afraid to show my ass, all at the same time. They mean the same thing. That's the whole point.
I still believe that, even though what you're saying is we should be having fun with our lives, not condemning our lives, not making ourselves feel sabotaged because we are soul, not because we are dealing with truth. It should be a optimistic outlook of our souls, not some like deemed situation where we can't even smile at each other, we can't be nice to each other, we can't laugh with each other because of whatever that energy is.
Well,
Because
I
I
mean,
don't understand. Because I don't understand.
but
I don't understand it.
if you're self-sourcing,
No,
if you're self-sourcing, all you can control is your own thoughts, words, and actions. So
exactly. But you keep saying we're all one. That's what you keep saying. But
we
I
are
keep
one.
saying that even though we're one, we still have our own individual personalities and our own
I understand
individual
that. I understand
journey.
that. I understand that. But in the multidimensionality, the human aspect is this little, like a fly on an elephant's ass, okay? And we have been
Yes.
overconsumed, overly conscious, in amnesia of our multidimensionality memories and lineage, et cetera, et cetera. And so the equation or the process would seem to be that as we let go of these identities that frantically want to hold on when they're just this minute part of our composition.
But
Because
who's the one seeing that? But that's what I'm saying. Who's the one seeing that? Because I'm not seeing that. But who's
well,
the one seeing that? Because I'm
that's
not
the,
seeing that. I'm seeing a positive outlook on all souls.
okay. Well, then if that's the case, and I'm not saying it's not, then why are we having conversations about the antithesis of that? Why are we discussing, these things that I would say are less than optimistic?
And where would
This
that
is
be at?
this is where I'm going with it. Is this new reality, the truth frequency in form incarnated in a physical density of this manner? At this point, takes less words, dominion over our thoughts, walking the talk, and letting the energy speak for itself. There's
And
nothing to
how can we
prove.
walk the talk if someone is judging us whether we're walking it or not?
Well, if somebody's judging you, then that's got nothing to do with somebody. It's got to do with yourself or myself.
Okay, but what I'm saying is that
Well, I
is
mean,
not a positive. You say,
but
let's
it's
go.
not that. But it's not a part of my field.
Yeah, it's not
If
a part of
I'm
mine either.
truly,
That's
if
why I'm not
well, if it's,
understanding why
but
you're
that's my
bringing it
point.
up.
My point is, if it's not a part of my field, why am I bringing it up?
Exactly. That's what I was saying.
So it's not, it shouldn't even be there. Look, we're moving into a space where there's no such thing as forgiveness. It doesn't exist because there's nothing to forgive. If
Exactly.
you look at 8 billion people that have all been subjected to the same human conditioning, and you realize that we've all been duped in the same way, then everything and anything that we've done, okay,
It's already, yeah.
So the only thing left is our own self-judgment with ourselves in the universe, and I guess that's what you call a life review, and that's what we're doing now. Is we're working through all the threads of the lives we've had in the summary life, and
that's good. That's good. That's good.
The stuff is coming up right before our face, and
That's good, Todd.
we can externalize it all we want.
Yep,
But
that's
it's not
good.
going to work. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
It's about us. So if I'm having an experience with two beautiful sisters and I have to go in 9 minutes, but for an hour and a half or whatever it is, I'm not just speaking to to Terri and to Pamela. I'm speaking to myself. Now I could resist it, I could embrace it, or I could just be with it, and you give it your best shot. And then, like I said, I am soul. I'm not afraid to show my ass. It's the same thing because that's what it requires. The universe says, step out there into the middle of the arena, buck ass naked to the soul,
Absolutely.
and show us, express to us through the inspiration that you have of what you know to be that which made you, and just this is the arena we're in. It's creativity, it's sacred sexuality, Christ consciousness, it's divine masculine, divine feminine. It's sacred union. It's so much more. It's so much more than the 7 chakras.
So much more.
Yeah.
So
So
much more.
this is a space that none of us have ever been in.
That's
Ever.
what I'm saying. And I have
ever.
one more question before you leave. So I have one more question.
Okay.
Okay. One more. So if you could leave listeners with one uncomfortable but useful truth, what would that be before you go?
Well, I would say, so I just want to qualify this. I speak to the universal. I would match it with anybody, the highest reverence I can be in a given moment, honor, love, and respect. But I speak to it the way it speaks to me. It's our own personal language. So I have what I call the little Todd, not to take anything away from the human Todd, which is Todd. And then the big Todd, which is
divine feminine, divine masculine, and divine child. Yes.
So you have the little Todd,
right?
The human.
Right.
You have in all its composition, including ego, including the body, and then you have the big Todd that I see as the soul.
Right.
And then you have the third component, which is the infinite, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
And what I would say, which I say to myself virtually every day for the last 14 years, as my soul speaks to my human, as it resists and tries to hold on, white knuckling on the illusionary roller coaster of the human condition, and it says, Todd, little Todd, I love you. Shut the fuck up and get out of the way. Because the silence in the dialogue that we have between the little version of us in our perception and the soul, the big version, is the most powerful place we can be, because that's where the real intelligence and codes come in.
Yes.
So does that make people uncomfortable to tell themselves shut the fuck up and get out of the way?
Yes, it does. Absolutely, especially if they have a lot of band-aids on. Especially if they have a lot of band-aids on.
I'm just saying that pretty much leaves that's another way of saying in Todd's vernacular, I surrender to you.
Absolutely.
I surrender. And we've all been there on our knees as kids.
And I'm there right now. I'm there right now.
And you just say, hey, because at the end of the day, the universe is not going to make a decision for us. It's going to point us in the right direction. It's going to give us
we have to make our own decisions.
But it's it's like shift or get off the pot.
Exactly.
So this is a real thing, and we're 7 days into this new year, and I think it's going to be a hellacious.
Well, today is my dad's birthday, January the 7th.
Happy
Carl
birthday,
Cousins. Dad. He was a musician. He played all 3 saxophones. And if it wasn't for my dad, I wouldn't be here. So I do want to give him a heavenly blessing, even though he is already, he's been talking to me the last 3 days, and I've been noticing him coming to me saying stuff. And I just want to say, Carl Cousins, I love you. Thank you, Daddy, for, even all the pain that I've suffered from you. I thank you for that. I thank you for that. I thank you for that. It's been a journey And I'm still learning, I'm still growing, and I'm still thriving to continue to grow, you know? And I thank you for being here, Todd, on the crowns. Oh, you got me all. Ooh.
Harmonic
On the
Crowns of the
harmonic
Multiverse.
crowns of the multiverse. I really appreciate you hosting and giving your input and output. Just because a person goes in and out doesn't mean we're not getting along. I want everybody to know we're just conversing. That's how we converse in the spirit. We are not like in church where you can't say anything. You got to sit on a pew or whatever. We talk about the things that we want to heal from. So thank you so much, Todd. I appreciate you. And I thank you, Terri. Terri, I love you too. Beautiful song. And hopefully Todd won't forget to send me that email. Because he's super busy like me. But
I have it. I have it on my list. No problem. Hey, thank you so much, ladies. I really appreciate it. Thank you for letting me come in here and share sacred space with you. I really appreciate it.
yes, thank
You
you.
guys have a great night. Okay, on the West
Yes, you
Coast.
too.
You
All right.
too.
Thank you.